This feels very awkward, just like stare. Hey, it's 1:30. All right, I guess we can start. Hey, how's it going, MAGFest? I heard. Thank you. I much appreciate that. I was told by a stand-up comedian of no fame that you're not supposed to ask how people are doing, but I don't care. So I'm going to ask, like, how's everybody doing? All right. Friends, Romans, country them, because we're in 2020, so appreciate everyone. My name is Dan Howard, and with me to my left, and your right, is not Assistant Director Cinco. Or
I am not Cinco.
I totally forgot we planned the joke to say that you were Cinco all along. I
Oops.
botched that. We
That's
goofed.
okay.
This is my good friend Matt Papa, who is standing in for Cinco, who could not be here because they work a retail job and their schedules are poopy. So you're probably coming here for answers to questions that revolve around Game Center CX, I hope. Otherwise, you are in the wrong panel, and I apologize that the guidebook did not direct you to the appropriate place. But let's go ahead and start here. I got to get this video out of the way. This is very technically demanding here, so I apologize. So I already introduced myself, but yeah, so this panel is all about the Japanese television series Game Center CX. So what we're going to do is we're going to just do like a basic 101 for all you kids of academia and just cover things in a subject matter that I hope isn't boring. Again, I'm probably setting myself up for success here by saying that this might be boring, so I apologize.
We won't make it boring. Don't worry.
I'm incredibly nervous, so if I start dry heaving or weeping, just giving you fair warning, please don't judge too harshly. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of those important questions of who, what, where, when, and how, the premise of the show, the most important thing, you take a middle-aged comedian that is somewhat famous in the country of Japan, and you sit him down with what is known as a kusoge, which is literally two Japanese words put together of kuso, which, are we allowed to swear? Is it too early for swearing? Cool. Shit. And the other word, geimu, which is the Japanese word for game. So he plays these kusoge, and he's got a single sitting to do it in, which is usually the span of 13 hours. Give or take some pee breaks and some dinner breaks because he's a human being, hopefully. But he's subjecting himself to these games for the extent purpose of showing the viewers the endings to these games. He's not using a game genie. I don't believe those exist. Do those exist in Japan?
Nah, Galoob ain't a thing over there.
Oh, right on. All right. Thank you, resident Japanese expert Matt Papa.
Yeah. Dondemonai desu.
So he's doing it all by his own skill, which he does not have. Comedy, entertainment, and miracle plays hopefully ensue. So now that we've gotten the premise down, is everybody still with us? Did we go too fast? The rules here on the table say not to go too fast, so I hope I'm doing okay here. So the what? So we break down how the show actually started. So in 2003, comedian Shinya Arino wanted to do his own kind of show showcasing their love of video games. He's a very outspoken otaku and video game nerd, and so he approached the Gascoigne company and Fuji TV and said, let's do a show about games. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Gascoigne was all for it, but they started doing it on a very, very small budget because at that point in time, things like AVGN or Let's Plays did not exist, were not even thought of. So here comes this guy who's a big old nerd, who's only famous for doing stand-up comedy, saying like, hey, let's talk about games. So they would do this documentary style setup where they would go to a video game company. So we go to Capcom, we go to Toei, he would go to Bandai Namco or then Bandai because they hadn't merged yet, I don't think. That's a history lesson for you. So they would interview a couple of the game creators and it was very boring. Like, there are some cool things about it, but Arino is not a very good interviewer. He's very charming and very energetic, but it's very much a lot of like, so Steel Battalion's a thing, right? That's cool. And then that's it. So one of the very first early episodes, he actually interviews the Pokemon company. And the best parts of that episode is he just slaughters children mercilessly at Pokemon. Like, no sort of restraint whatsoever. Like, the child is crying in front of him and he's just laughing. So that paints a very good picture for your host. But what they would do to supplement the episodes, aside from covering like what games those companies had released, is they would throw in a little challenge for him to do of a game that company made. So for the Capcom one, he actually plays Steel Battalion, which is really neat. Like he ends up playing it in the Fuji TV theater. So he's playing it on this huge, massive screen with the controller there. And of course, he's not good at it, so he's just playing the same first stage over and over again. But when they finished out the series, finished filming, and started premiering it on television, Fuji TV said, hey, we want to renew you, but we got to change up the format. Like, it's just not going to work. Like, Arino is not good at interviewing, so we really like the challenge segments. Like, fans seem to react to that. So what can we do? Can we make that the main focus of the show? So they retooled it, and that was it. Like, from then on, it was just gangbusters, as the kids say. And like, everything was great with the show. Arino would play these infamously difficult games, and he would struggle. And the whole idea of the show is that you, the viewer, are there alongside with him, trying to get through the game. And just the appeal of Arino is that he's not super irate or angry. Like, he's just a really charming dude. So instead of him like throwing a controller, he'll just laugh and be like, ha ha ha, I suck, and then try and play it some more.
And he's a real good sport about it.
Yeah, so with that said, the way that they vet these games is they actually have assistant directors, a la Matt Papa here, who will go out and do what they call location scouting, just like you would for like any kind of film or television recruiting. So you would go to locations and see if it's a good place to film. So it is somebody's job in the TV industry to location scout a video game and go, is Arino going to have a hard time with this? Is this something that will take 13 hours? Will he suffer? If all three, then yes, please play that game. And they go through the process of getting licensing from the company to make sure that they can broadcast it on television. But they also end up assisting him in the challenge itself. Like, they'll come in, if Arino is that bad at a game, they'll come over and help him out with it, so that way he's not struggling too hard. But the show itself has spanned well over 280 episodes as of this panel and is still going. So if you want to see a not middle-aged man, but a much older man play video games, please watch the show. And with those episodes, it gained such popularity that it has spawned numerous handheld games that reflect the show. How many of you actually have heard of Retro Game Challenge? All right, awesome. It is a great game. It was localized over here in the West by Xseed, and I believe Bandai Namco as well. Someone correct me on that, am I correct? Cool, thank you. Thank you. Man, you didn't even let me have a moment to feel bad about myself. You were on that. So it not only spanned those games, but also a few books that detail Arino's interviews with these game creators and their thoughts about those interactions. So those are actually pretty decent if you can read Japanese. But it's also spawned a motion picture, which is half a live challenge that was recorded earlier on in the series, and then the other half is like an original story that it's all right. But check it out if you want. It should be available online. Did I just advocate piracy? I guess I did. Sure. So there's some more stuff here. Also want to talk about how it got popular here in the West. So through the contributions of individuals, if they ever watch this, thank you very much for doing so. Ray Barnholt, who is known for doing Retronauts and Crunk Games, was actually doing episode synopsises for a long time. Just like breaking down every single episode with screenshots and detailing everything about it, and has become a very useful encyclopedia for all the sorts of goofs and moments and slip-ups of Arino's challenges. So please check that out if you have a chance. But also, I don't even know if they're here this year, but Nina Matsumoto, who's famous for doing
unfortunately, she's not here this year.
Simpsons comics, has also done a lot of designs for Fangamer. She was such a fan of the show, she would send in artwork to them and is actually now considered a part of their show. She's actually done the official artwork for the USA DVD release, as well as some of the box sets and poster for the movie. So her contributions to the show have been massive to helping get it popular over here in the West. She and a team off of the Something Awful forum also helped in translating and subtitling episodes, which I'm pretty sure, like, if you have seen Game Center CX, more than likely you have seen it subtitled by that group. And they do a fantastic job just because they are big fans of video games, so they know the ins and outs of what Arino is playing and are able to translate it appropriately. So moving on from that, the episodes themselves, this is where we're going to really dig in here, so strap your boots. The episode structure usually entails Arino playing a challenge, and from there they'll supplement different things in depending upon the season. So you usually have what is called the tamage, and I can't remember what the full Japanese word for that is.
It's like Tamaniku no Game Center. It's like, you should go to this arcade sometime, or check out this place sometime, that type of deal.
So it's like a big thing in Japan for like candy stores or stationery shops to always have some kind of coin-operated game attached to them with an old lady running the place. Like I think it's Japanese law. Don't quote me on that.
It should be. There are still a lot of them, even today in 2020. There's still a lot of them.
So he'll go to these locations and he'll check out the games that are there, and then he'll also goof around with whoever the owner is, and usually there are kids there, so he can be really disrespectful to them and beat them at games and joke around with them.
Yep.
But then also play pranks on them, and hilarity ensues. So those are one of the bigger things that they carry throughout the different seasons. The other ones that they do is they'll cover release history in chronological order, starting from the Famicom up in, I think they're still in Game Boy right now, because there's a lot of Game Boy games.
Yeah.
But they'll do like little short blurbs about like, hey, this game came out on this date, this is what it's about, with some narration over it, so you get like kind of a peek into.
It's kind of like a 10, 15 second blurb for each game. And
if even that.
Just gets you a little taste of what each game has to offer.
Right. After that, one of my favorite segments, and I've listed it here just because it's such a weird premise to me, everything I learned in life, I learned from video games. So they hire an actual Shinto priest.
No word of a lie.
And he reads from a strategy guide as if it were like their scripture. And he'll pick a certain line, and then he'll give a lesson on it. My favorite one is he does one from the Mother 1 strategy guide, where it's like, take your friends to Magic Hand so they can gain experience. And he closes the book and he's like, so is true in life. Your friends are struggling. You might not see it. And when you meet them, they might be weak. So take them along in your life to give them experience and make them stronger. And it's just like, what?
It's amazing.
Did you hire a homeless man to give these things?
No, they're amazing. Like, he'll pull like just the most random stuff, and like I don't know how he ties it into real life as well as he does, but it's truly amazing.
They play like this really awesome orchestral music over it, and it's really like touching, and like I'm pretty sure someone's like watching it and weeping because they're like, oh, it's so true. Magic Hand, yes. But then at the very end of it, like they'll chant the line, and then at the very end of that, Arino will give his commentary, which is usually like, "You guys are dumb."
Yeah.
And then my other favorite segment, they haven't done it since like the first couple seasons, just because writing into a show, I guess, just isn't normal practice anymore.
No.
But Arino did this thing called Ring Tactics, where he was tasked with playing the most infamously terrible game ever released in Japan. Super Monkey Daiboken. Raise your hand if you've heard of this game. Consider yourself lucky if you haven't. But I guess the onus is now on me, because now after this panel, you're probably going to look it up. So
we're all cursed now.
We wipe our hands of it. When I say it's bad, take that and multiply it by the largest number that you can think of. And that is only a small percentile of how bad this game is. But so the premise of Ring Tactics is that Arino is playing through this game, and viewers watching the show will write in on index cards saying, if you need help at this part in the game, call me and I'll help you out. So he calls them over the phone, and it's super awkward because he's just calling them at some random time in the day, and a lot of them are office workers, so they don't answer, or he calls like some kid who'll just be like, yeah, I can't hang out. I got to go watch Crown Shin-chan. Bye, and hang up on him. But it's fun for that reason, because like one, it's a bad game, but also two, like his interactions with the people are a lot of fun. And then my other favorite segment, I think it's like season 5. So you can probably elaborate on this a lot better than I can. In Japan, whenever you see like a tagline on a movie poster or like a product or something like that, it's called a catch copy.
Yeah, catch copy, yep.
And so they play this game where it's Arino and 2 of the assistant directors are trying to pick a game from a pile based on a read out loud catch copy. So Arino is very bad at this game, so it's very fun for him to like pick up a game that's like very obviously Super Mario, and he's like, ah, yes, Bubble Bobble. Because it's like, oh yeah, 'cause there's dinosaurs in Mario. Is that right? Mario 1 has dinosaurs? Yeah, it's clearly Mario. And then him obviously not get the answer correct. So that is most of what Oh, I forgot. So early on in the series, when they introduced the challenge on like their eye catches, which is like the little graphic that they have when they go to commercial, they'll start out very simple by having Arino with the game itself. But you can tell the staff starts to have fun with it because then they superimpose him in weird ways onto the eye catches. So for instance, if you look on that second row, there's Arino as Pit from Kid Icarus. And then of course you've got him as Mega Man, and for some reason they put him in Wagon's mouth right there. And so yeah, so those are fun. And some more here that I thought were really funny. Whoever did Bonanza Brothers, genius. Like literally they went to that guy, were like, look, we need a graphic for Bonanza Brothers, quick, done. And then I picked 3 which I thought would be the most hilarious, so I apologize for Nightmare Fuel. I don't know if we got Rocky Rodent in the West, but I don't want it. Oh God, that's a shame. So that's basically the structure of the show and what it is about. So now the important question is who? We've talked a little bit about a couple individuals in the show, but the main focus of the show is your hosts. Shinya Arino, middle-aged comedian, outspoken nerd. Man, what do I say about this guy? Like he's just a very charming individual. He has no skill in games except for puzzle games. For some reason, God gifted him the ability to just crank through puzzle games as if that's what his purpose on Earth was. With some noted things about Arino real quick, this will probably be the one thing that I actually read on the slide from. So Arino is actually one half of a manzai group. And manzai is like a style of comedy that is known specifically to Osaka, right?
Yeah, it originated in Osaka, and it's basically like a 2-person comedy duo. We basically have like, the straight man, and the goofball,
right?
And they play off each other. It's been done for a while, for years and years now, and it's still a very popular form of Japanese comedy. Like it is one of like the quintessential examples of Japanese comedy even today.
Yeah, so like if you ever see like 2 Japanese guys like slapping each other on the chest, that's manzai.
Something stupid like "Nandere."
Yeah. So
manzai.
I can never remember the name of what the straight man is called, but Arino...
Tsukomi is the straight man, the Boke is the goofball.
Yeah, so Arino would always play like the air-headed, aloof guy, but they became famous. Their name was Yokoi, which translates to child...
Yoiko?
Yeah, Yoiko. I'm saying it wrong.
Yoiko is basically like, the one way you can translate it, basically like a good boy or a good kid. Like,
cool.
Yeah, cool.
So him and his partner, Hamaguchi, would usually cosplay when they do their bits. So they got really popular for dressing up as like Char Aznable and Amuro Ray from Gundam and just do really, really dumb segments dressed as those two. If you go on YouTube, there's another famous manzai group called Downtown. And they actually do segments called Hanging Out with Downtown, where they like try and become friends with other comedians. And they hang out with Arino and Hamaguchi in cosplay, and they go to like a tsundere cafe. It is very cringe, but also a lot of fun to watch. So he got to start in comedy. His current record, which I was astounded to see because it seems like he's lost a lot more than he's actually won. This is current as of last month. He has 232 wins over 110 losses. So those are either due to him not being able to complete the game over a 13-hour sitting, or he literally is just like, nope, can't do. And with that as well, he's also very weak against birds and dragons in games, which is like so famous with him that it has been incorporated into song. So there are actual songs written about Arino, and they're in there. He's been demoted once. There was a brief period in season 4 where he got really cocky and failed every challenge in the season, so they demoted him from his title, which at the time was called Kacho, which means chief, to section chief. But he eventually, spoilers, he eventually got it back, so he's good now. His favorite food, you always see him when he's doing the actual challenge. He's got like a little setup. It's like a gamer's dream of like just snack food and snack drinks and so forth. But he eats this like vinegared squid, which I've never had. I had the dried squid that they put out for the show, which is super tasty. But you hate seafood.
Yeah,
so
seafood's disgusting to me, so I could not offer you any commentary other than bleh.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I wrote that he does not hold back when playing against children. That is very true. And he also cosplayed Rei Ayanami from Evangelion once. So there's a really cool picture online you can find of him dressed up as Rei. But the show would not be complete without the main staff. The people that run the show, I guess I'll start from the top. So Soyoshi Kan is the show's producer. Out of a necessity to save money, he started narrating the show in the first season, but liked it so much that he decided to stick with it. And he's done a pretty decent job of it. But one thing I will say about the actual staff, they only existed on the show just because, it's so like rough shot. They actually end up getting on camera for that purpose, but they more or less become characters on the show. So for instance, like the show writer Kibe, they torment the hell out of that poor guy.
They really
like
do.
they really pick on him. Like they go to like a petting zoo and they like start like putting him in front of crayfish. He's like deathly afraid of them. So Arino's like specifically like making him like jump scare. Like they're just so mean to that poor guy. Cameraman Abe, the guy with the gun, is a former motorcycle delinquent. But he's also a like top chef and an impressive mangaka, which is like a comic book artist. Like he draws really well and has actually drawn art for the show. And I think he's also done a comic in one of the books.
I think so. He's a super nice dude too.
Yeah, because you've met a couple of the staff.
I met a whole bunch. I met pretty much all of the main staff except for Arino.
Dang.
I know.
Video editor Suda, his daughter hates Arino with a passion. So whenever they have him on camera, he always has to mention it. I've met Tani. Tani's a real fun dude.
Yeah, he's great.
We did meet him at Tokyo Game Show, and he was like handsome, and he like said it in English, and I was like, I thought he was like talking about me. Like I had the goal to think that he was talking about me, and he's like pointing to himself, like, yes, handsome. But he's their sound and voice mixer. He is famously known for just being like, a bigger guy, but like super jolly and very energetic. He had a T-shirt released for the show that no one bought. Because it only came in extra large. Why do you got to fat shame Japan? So there are speaking of which, I feel so bad bringing this up because I feel so bad for her because she's really nice. She's a former AD turned director, Yuko Watanabe. They call her Kuro Kirby, which in Japanese stands for Black Kirby, because she's kind of like a little overweight, and they're like really mean to her about it. But like Japanese comedy, and is very different.
Yeah. Japanese comedy will not hesitate to poke fun at your weight.
I say this as being called fat twice by Arino on Twitter. Like that's not once, but twice. And it's just like, okay, that's a compliment, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's just a thing. Like if you gain weight, people in your stratosphere will not hesitate to tell you like, oh, you've been eating well lately. It's just a thing that is still common there for whatever reason.
And then real quick, like these are some of the more famous assistant directors that have gone on to either do other stuff in the Japanese TV and film industry or have continued on with the show. Tojima, who's like the very first AD, I put Jimmy Olsen to Arino's Superman there because he more or less is just like his pal. So whenever there's like a really, really rough time in the series, they always call on Tojima to come in to kind of like help Arino get through things. But he's also done like a lot of different segments on the show, a lot of comedy bits. They did a live Christmas special that he was actually like a reporter for. He's not very good at it, so it's very entertaining to watch him kind of fumble through things. Underneath him, Inoue's actually gone on to direct the better half of the series. He is famously known for being a terrible AD. So Arino will be playing a very difficult game, and Inoue will tag in to be like, hey, let me help you out, and then promptly lose all of Arino's lives. So he gets a lot of crap from the fans for that reason. One of my favorite ADs is Urakawa. He's known as the ace of Game Center CX. He's famous for completing all of Adventure Island in a single sitting, and that's including Arino's time through playing the game. So that's 13 hours stacked on top of, I think, another 16 hours of just straight gameplay. I've never beaten it, and I cannot imagine that any other human would have done so, but apparently Urakawa has. Nakayama is another favorite AD of mine, and he's pretty famous throughout the series. He actually sings one of the show's songs called Last Continue, which is a song written about Arino's many times of using the last continue before the day wraps up. He's actually a really good singer, but he's incredibly shy. So a lot of his interactions on camera are just him bowing repeatedly with this pecoron sound effect on top of it. So it just makes him like super adorable, but also kind of quirky. And then I would be remiss to not mention again Nina Matsumoto, who's done a lot of the artwork for the show. They put out a children's book that's written by the actual show's producer. I don't know if Fangamer will have it in stock, so unofficially, Fangamer, here's your shout out here. Go to the Fangamer booth and check out some of her designs because it helps support her and in turn helps support Game Center CX. So that's a rough shot of most of the staff. They also, the way they introduce the episodes is they do a very Dragon Quest style opening where you have like a little king come out and he will usually chide Arino or the challenge in some way. But each season they kind of have like a weird overarching plot where the king will either get cursed or turned into a dead samurai or stuck on the moon or like something really weird, and it's up to Arino to finish out the challenges, and if he's successful with the challenges, then the king gets turned back to normal. And then other seasons, they've supplemented in the queen and then the prince. I won't go over all these names because it's a lot, but they're kind of like the defense against the dark arts teachers in Harry Potter. Every season, Arino gets a new AD, and they either stay on the show or they go on to bigger and better things. And there have been a couple repeat assistant directors, but so far, he's pretty much stayed consistent of having a different AD with every season. Some notable ones, they had an AD that was, her last name was Takahashi, which, if you know anything about Japanese games, Takahashi Meijin is the main character of Adventure Island. He's also famously known for having a 16-hit rapid fire. He was famous in the 80s for like being able to rapid fire like a god. So they would constantly call her like Takahashi Sensei just to like go along with that. So ADs are really cool. Some of them are really awesome and end up getting involved in segments. They kind of become their own characters on the show in a way. And you're asking yourself, when should I watch this show? Well, I got an outline here. So you got mobile devices, so please take out those mobile devices, take a screenshot if you can. The Something Awful forum that was created to get a following for this show wrote a really nice list in that white box with such topics as, I want to watch a comedian struggle to play games I love. Boom, there's the episodes that you should watch. I put a couple of my own favorites listed here. I actually started watching the series. They did a recording of the live special that they did in front of a studio audience. And I seriously thought every episode was that. So that like Arino goes to a stadium, plays in front of a bunch of people, and then somehow like is able to clear things. But the ones I noted on the left are just like my personal favorites, either because like Arino is like really, really goofy in them, the games themselves are really entertaining, or there's some kind of ridiculous interaction with the ADs. They've also done DVD-specific challenges for the released episodes that they've put out on DVD. Arino plays through things like the original Bomberman, Binary Land, Tower of Jiraga. They recently subtitled one of the DVD specials for the USA DVD they did. He actually plays through the Die Hard arcade. And this is very funny, like Arino making goofs about the Die Hard film. So it's a treat. But if you have the chance, please do check out these episodes. And this will get you like right in there to really start enjoying Game Center CX. But with that, you're probably asking, well, where the hell do I watch these episodes? Well, the internet is a thing, but we also want to try and keep things nice and legal as much as possible just because it does help support the show. So back in the day, Kotaku actually licensed a handful of episodes and put them on their YouTube channel. They are of mixed quality. I appreciate what they did, and Nina actually helped with subtitling the episodes for the parts where Arino's talking. But these episodes don't have any of the arcade segments or any of the supplemental segments. They are just strictly the challenges. But they're done decently, but my only gripe, and I'm probably going to sound like a weeb saying this, so here we are, the English announcer that they put over Khan pronounces Arino as Arino, or it's like, today the Cacho plays through the challenge. Like wonder if he's being like electrocuted or just like having a tough time, or so. Your opinions might vary, but it's at least something. It is an official release, and it does support the show, so we can't recommend it enough. If you're able to get a copy, do so. Otherwise, the Something Awful forum started a website where you can get all of the episodes. And they've been releasing them and subtitling them in a pretty steady fashion. Obviously, it takes a lot of work to get these episodes released, so it's been a little slow, but that's the best place to get them. I've also seen, I don't know if they're around anymore. Like, I checked before the panel, and they still have a couple episodes on there, but there's a website called gamingcx.com. Still has a couple of the episodes hosted if you just want to watch on an embedded viewer. Otherwise, your best bet really is sagccx.com. And that... Oh, yeah, I forgot about this, and this is the one you were telling me to fix. So if you want to take another screenshot, I realize that that's probably a lot of addresses to type in by hand.
Yeah, that's Something Awful forums.
We are in 2020, and I apologize. I should have known better. But these are the official website to the Japanese landing page for Game Center CX, as well as Gascoigne's actual website, which has Arino's live blog on there. So if you ever want to read Arino's thoughts on a daily routine in Japanese, boom.
His Twitter's a hoot, too.
Yeah, he's a funny guy for good reason. Halfway done? Cool. And then the last link I put on there, someone went through all of the trouble of making a Google Maps of all the locations that Arino has visited.
It's so handy. Holy crap.
I was very sad when I went to go visit Matt Papa in Japan a couple of years back, trying to find any of these places that still existed because they do not last very long.
Yeah, a lot of them have closed since their original airings on the show.
Yeah.
We did go to one, though.
Yeah, where I got called fat by another Japanese person.
You did.
So that...
Their food was really good, though.
Oh, so good. Real quick, just go over some other fun facts that not necessarily filter into like main topics. So Arino's uniform, I feel like the kid that wears the band shirt to the concert here, but I put up a Twitter poll, so I'm wearing it. But the uniform he wears is based off of uniforms that Nintendo employees had to wear way back in the day. Famously, Shigeru Miyamoto said they hated them. But for some reason they were like, yeah, let's make Arino do that. He'll get a kick out of it. But it's so iconic and it's stuck with him through the years, so he still wears it. Other things, we talked about him having the title of Kacho, cameraman Abe, producer Khan, and then him being part of a Manzai group. Other fun facts. There was Taito's 30th anniversary. They released a limited edition Game Center CX Space Invaders cabinet where they replaced all the graphics with Arino's head, and he did all the sound effects for the game. So like when the little UFO goes across the screen, he's just going like, Kacho, wah, 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 wah. They released a soundtrack for the 10th anniversary. They had like this huge promotional campaign for when they hit that 10-year mark. So there was the film, soundtrack, a bunch of different goodies that you can buy. There's a Hello Kitty Kacho plush doll that you can buy. It is super adorable. I think I have two. I also brought a couple here. I might give some out. Arino is famous for wearing these cooling pads on his forehead. They're meant for people that have fevers, but from experience, and I'm sure Matt can tell you, this shit will wake you up.
Yeah.
Like, Arino wears them on his head so that he can stay focused after playing games for so long. We'll wear these on the show because, god damn,
my first experience with these, this guy, we were sharing a room at MAGFest a couple years ago, and I'm struggling to wake up. So Dan gets the bright idea to take one of these out and pops. I'm literally half asleep, like, I want to get up. And he slaps this thing on my forehead. I've never jumped up faster in my entire life when one of those damn things was put on my forehead. So yeah, they work.
Yeah.
Really well.
Other weird fun facts, Arino and Hamaguchi are on the Japanese voice commentary for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World on Blu-ray. Okay. Arino has also had 2 figures released of his likeness. The one was just like a little statue that they released. You had to like send away for it, and if you were lucky enough to get one, you would get one. And then SH Figuarts did a Game Center CX figure where he comes with cooling pad face, a little thing of like bottled squid, a little clock that is on like 12 midnight because that's usually when they wrap up filming. I recommend it if you are a big fan of figures. It is very, very nice. We already talked about how Arino is good at puzzle games. AD director Inoue, he gets his nickname as Inako Max because he was an amateur wrestler when he was in college. He is not a very good wrestler, so there's a reason why he decided not to pursue that career. And then, cannot recommend enough, a fan group got together and translated the second DS game. So go out there and download it. Hooray piracy. Please, it's a very, very fun game. I cannot recommend it enough. So from here, I figured it would be interesting and embarrassing for me to do kind of a live challenge. So this is actually based on a challenge Arino did very, very early on in the series where he had to play through Star Force and defeat the mid-boss Larios. And the way to do this is as soon as this little dude blinks on the screen, you have to rapid fire 8 shots to destroy him to get the bonus. I have not been able to do it. I spent most of the time setting up in here really, really early trying to play through it, so this is going to be a shit show. So let's go ahead and try this out, I guess. I had to figure out, did I have the NES wrong? There we go. Thank you. Oh my gosh, this is awkward. Come on, the challenge is getting the video to show properly. All right. Yes, I'm playing through emulation. If I could hook up an actual NES, I would. All right. All right, that is super loud. Hold on. Oh, that was fun.
Good hustle, good hustle, good hustle.
I'm going to turn that down to like a 3. No. Oh, there we go. All right. I'm just going to stare over your head here, Matt. I should mention, I'm not good at shooting games.
You can fool me.
All right, here we go.
Nah. How many chances are you giving yourself? Oh.
I tried to talk in the mic without looking at the screen.
Well, this is your last life, so make the most of it.
Oh, is that an extra life? Oh, heck.
No, you just got a better ship, dog.
Wait. Well, hold on. Oh, I gotta reset.
Blamp.
That's 3 lives. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have maybe like 3 people that would like to try and play to win an actual copy of the U.S. released episodes. Who is brave enough to come up?
Who are our brave volunteers?
All right, I saw my man's hand first here. I'll take one person in the back, and then the gentleman over here in the front. So come on up one at a time here, and we'll get you situated.
So we'll go 1, 2, 3. So you start in the PlayStation shirt. You can.
All right.
Or I should say PlayStation.
Are you good with standing down there in some capacity? So, okay. So, what's your name, by the way? Brad. Pleasure to have you here. Have you ever played Star Force before? Well, good luck. All right. So you've got one chance. The rules are a little bit more strict, but I believe in you. So, all right, whenever
Brad.
you are ready, go ahead and hit that start button.
All right, come on, guys. Let's give Brad some love.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh, I should probably tell you the controls. Yeah, the A button fires and the D-pad moves.
You might want to maximize the screen, too.
Oh, yeah, that might be.
You may not play Star Force before. It seems like you know your way around a shooting game or two, though.
Yeah, so when the music changes, that's when you know that Larios is about to show up.
dodge. Nice dodge. Seems to like flying shields. I'm not sure what they are, but good job on those.
Now remember, you got to shoot Larios 8 times after he flashes. All right, here it goes.
All right.
You ready?
Oh, you got this, Brad. Let's go.
Up.
Ah!
That was a good try.
That was a good try, Brad. Well done. Well done.
Everyone give him a round of applause.
Give it up for Brad. Good stuff, man. All right, so you want to come on up over here? We'll get you set up for round 2. And what is your name?
Joey.
Joey. Nice to meet you, Joey.
All right, Joe, have you played Star Force before?
Yes, I have.
All right. Well, okay, you got an advantage here. All right. Whenever you are ready.
All right, let's give it up for Joey. Come on.
Yeah, everybody. Joey!
So far, so good.
Joey, when I asked if you had played Star Force before, you should have told me that you were a master at it.
Now you could have fooled me, man. All right. We're getting close.
Here we go, Joey.
Here we go,
No
Joey.
pressure.
Ah! That was a damn good effort, though. Good effort, Joey. Good stuff, man.
All right. All right. What's your
All right,
name, sir?
and what is your name?
Mike.
Mike. Nice to meet you, Mike.
You played Star Force before?
Yeah, I think I actually downloaded it because of the Game Center CX.
Oh, nice. All right. All right. Whenever you are ready,
All right, Mike.
hit that start button.
All right, Mike. Let's go. Let's get it up for
All right,
Mike.
let's
Come
go
on, Mike.
All right, Mike.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Ah! Dang.
That was a nice try.
Give it up for
Thank you
Mike.
very
That
much.
was very good.
All right. I think we've got time for one more. We've got one more. Oh, this is a lot of pressure. All right. Who do I pick? Oh, Matt, you pick somebody. I picked 3 people.
I see somebody with a Japanese Nintendo 64 shirt staring me in the face. So, what's with you?
All right. What's your name? Johnny.
Johnny.
You played Star Force before? All right. Pick up that controller. I appreciate your honesty. All right. So, is it a little sweaty? I should have brought some wet wipes. Okay. So yeah, it's A to fire. D-pad to move around. No, I don't believe so. I mean, you hit it if you want. Both of them shoot? Yeah. Well, maybe not try that out right now. All right, let's hear for Johnny.
Go ahead, Johnny. First timer. Let's
Come on,
go.
Johnny.
Beginner's luck. You got this.
How do people do commentary when they like an Evo? I feel like I should be saying something about this gameplay.
I just like, I get kind of mesmerized when people are just playing.
Not to distract Johnny or anything like that. I like the way that he moves the D-pad.
The swift A button presses.
That was a good shot. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it.
Johnny, good stuff, man.
All right. Well, then, this is regulated to a contest we'll do on the show. So if you want a shot at winning this bad boy of weird narration, but actual licensed episodes, stay tuned to our Twitch stream so you can win a copy. All right, so let's... Oh, well, I got to get there first, Amber. Jeez. All right. So with that said, we're going to do a real quick Q&A here. I should have shown this slide to talk about the challenge there, but we're going to skip through that real quick. So if you have any questions for us, if there's anything that you'd like to ask about the show, we do have an open mic here for all of your burning Game Center CX questions that you might have. Going once. Please, if you got a question, come on up to the mic.
Come on up to the mic.
Yeah, applaud him. Let him like Price is Right him down there. Come on.
Do it up for questions.
Yeah.
Questions. Love questions.
How's it going?
Good. Hello.
What's your name?
Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Pleasure to meet you.
I guess the one question I would have is what would be one of the more funnier moments that you've noticed that has just stuck in your brain? I've had some of my moments, and I was just curious about yours.
Oh man, that's tough. I'm a very big fan of the episode where Arino gets the little shades that he puts over his eyes to pretend that he's asleep, and he will continuously put them on in the episode. I'm also a big fan of when they're playing through Bonanza Brothers, and Arino is so enamored with how the switch works. He's doing it on the wall next to the challenge, and it's just really goofy and how charming he is with doing the pantomime there. But I think my favorite moment in the entire series is they're doing. One of the trivia games, Quest of the Feudal Lord. It's a PC Engine trivia game, and he's got all the different staff members that are there, with the little hand things, to answer the questions. And Abe gets in a fight with Khan over a question, and Arino's please don't fight in front of me, as if he's a kid watching mom and dad fight. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for your question. Hello again.
Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Yeah, so it's a simple question. Where did you buy your uniform from?
I actually bought this through a Japanese shipping service.
Okay.
So they went through the process of going onto the actual website. So whatever company that makes this actually has this uniform still on sale. It's actually called the Heroes uniform. I can't tell you how much it costs because I don't know what that converts to in 2020 money. But in 2010, it was $200.
Oh. All right, never mind.
That's top and pants.
If you want to be the Cacho, you got to throw down the undies.
I've had that for this many years. It is very nice quality. They last if you take good care of them. So it's worth every penny. But that's also with shipping services and them going through the proxy service to order it.
Wait, so it's 200 plus the Tento
It was around that. I think it was 170, 180.
Okay.
But with shipping and taxes included, it was about 200.
All right.
But
Good luck in your quest to become
also,
the Cacho.
you can find the actual Game Center CX necktie for a lot cheaper. No, they should have it on shipping services. It was the past year they started releasing more Game Center merch.
Yeah, no, they've had a lot of stuff because they had the Game Center CX museum that they had recently, which I'm pretty sure that's where I got that.
Yeah, thank you. And I think you got the squid there too for me.
Yeah. So they have a lot more merch nowadays. I don't know how they sell it online.
Yeah. What is it? It's not Rakuten. There's a couple other proxy services that you can go to that'll do it.
Stuff I don't know if Rakuten or a Japanese Amazon or something like that. I don't know if they have it or not, but you can always look.
Yeah.
So for as long as Game Center CX has been going on and it's still going, what do you think it is about this show in particular that's made it last so long in comparison to other shows that have tried to be video game centric or we'll play a game and be wacky,
I have my theory, but I'll let you.
You can go first.
I think honestly, it's Arino. I think he is the guy who sells that show, and I think the reason any shows like this, you can find 1,000 different people to talk about and play video games, but I think it's his unique charm and character is what people keep coming back for. Because you can go on the internet and watch any Joe Schmo or Takashi Tanaka play video games, but it's like this guy. But I think it's Arino's unique charm that and just the crew that they have assembled over the years, and they've kind of got they got the legacy effect going on too, and I think that's why people who maybe started watching Game Center CX when they were 20 years old when it came out, are probably watching it with their kids now.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who's a big fan. He watches it with his son, who's like 9 years old. So I think that has that lastability, and just him being such a funny, charming guy. I personally think that's why the show has lasted as long as it has, but you may have different thoughts than me.
I think it's equal parts, like the people involved, like have really made that show what it is, but also equal parts. There's a level of nostalgia that I don't think we really got here in the West, or if we did, it's very, very different. There's just something incredibly touching and charming about people being huddled in front of that old CRTV with that Famicom that you can't even pull the controllers away more than like 3 feet. There's something that is synonymous with that feeling that keeps people watching. But I think it's also like the aspect of it being an underdog story. You've got this guy that's coming from nothing, essentially with game skills. He's almost like the Rocky Balboa of video gaming, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not just saying that because he's played Punch-Out, but yeah, like it's just, he's got everything working against him, and somehow at the weirdest times, like he pulls out a victory, and it's just astounding to watch and feel like you're there along with him.
Yeah, and because they always have like there's always people in the room with him.
Yeah.
It's never just him like, yay, I did it.
Yeah.
It's always like, the other staff and the people are always around, especially when it gets close to the end, and there's just like genuine excitement in that room. Or when he's in a stadium or in an event hall, you can feel that energy, and I think that's another thing. Like you get caught up in the celebration.
Yeah, and spoilers, like I think it also has to do a lot with like what games he's actually cleared and what games he hasn't been able to. Like, spoiler alert, dude could not beat Mario 3, but was able to beat Ninja Gaiden. Like,
this is why Arino has lasted as long as he has, because of shit like that.
Yeah.
The man's outlived. He survived the rise and fall of G4.
Yeah.
Pour one out for G4.
Too soon. Well, thank you. Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Joe.
Joe, pleasure to meet you, Joe.
All right.
It's a question.
So, I know you had that list earlier, but absolute gun to your head choice. Probably a bad phrase.
That's all good.
Absolute meowth claw to your head.
It's someone picking their first episode. Where do they start?
Honestly, Mighty Bomb Jack Live. Like, it has all the heart and
really
intensity of what the challenges are, but you have the charm of seeing kind of behind the curtains and also being able to see Arino and act in front of other people. A secondary episode to that, I would put, if you can get the episode subtitled, his Dragon Quest challenge is fantastic to watch. I don't think it's been properly subtitled yet, so I apologize giving you that recommendation, but it has some of the best moments of him. Like, you can see that he loves games. Especially RPGs, and just like the charm that comes off of that. Also doesn't help that two of the assistants on the program fall asleep during the challenge, so there's like some comedic bit with that. But yeah, Mighty Bomb Jack, definitely.
I also think when I first watched Game Center CX, I wanted to see, and I think this would probably apply to a decent amount of people, like there's like the legendary stuff like Mighty Bomb Jack and stuff like that, but I think if you want to get somebody into the series, there are so many episodes now that you can probably look at an episode list and pick your favorite game that's on there. Like the very first one that I watched was Mega Man 2, because Mega Man 2 is my favorite game of all time, so I want to watch this guy play Mega Man 2, and then I'm like, oh my god, this was so much fun, and then and that's what kept me wanting to see. It's like, oh, if Mega Man 2 is this fun, I bet Super Mario 3 was this fun, or any other games that he's done. So if you don't want to, I don't think a lot of Western gamers know Mighty Bomb Jack. As great of a game as it can be, and as fun as that episode is, if you're on the fence, you can always pick a game you really like and kind of go from there.
So they did a Pokemon special in the first season. However, they've also gone back when they re-released the Red, Blue, and Green on Virtual Console. He plays through them with the explicit challenge of collecting all 150 Pokemon. That's where you should start.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So I guess that's it for questions. So this, I guess, is the part where we shamelessly plug ourselves. So I did this panel because I really like the series a lot, but I also do a Twitch stream that is based partially, if not wholly, on the show, skirting that copyright infringement line as close as
it's
possible.
It's a love letter. It's not.
But we play through games that are recommended by the viewers, which we call squatters to go with the whole apartment motif. So if you have any interest in Game Center and you want to see somebody that is not as funny as Ari, but does a decent enough job at video games, God, I'm really selling this show, aren't I?
Yes.
Please check us out. I have business cards, so if you want to awkwardly meet me and like shake hands with like a no-famer, please do. I've got business cards. But my co-host, AD Cinco, who could not be here.
I say, that's not me.
She is a lot funnier and at every turn possible rips into me. So please follow them on social media because they are very, very entertaining and funny. Otherwise, please do give our show a like and a follow, and hopefully we see you around. So hopefully you like the panel. That's it. Thanks for coming.